Professor, I think you're muted.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? Ricardo, do you have any questions that you need answered since you came late to the party? Or are you okay?
I think I'm okay. I couldn't find the instructions for the Zephyr negotiation.
That's because I didn't post them.
Okay.
So we do that in class.
Okay.
And anybody else? Questions, concerns? What do we got going on this week?
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay.
Have we resolved that case issue?
We have not. We should get that done this week. I emailed those guys again yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Today. Today's Monday. I emailed them this morning, and we'll get back to me and see what's going on. But basically, also, I still have to add the new people that added this class late in order to get everything. So everything has to be lined up and done correctly before they even email out any of the case studies. So
Sounds good. Thanks.
No problem. So you're only going to need one at a time anyway. So you're not going to get all of them at the same time. Okay. So when we do our breakout rooms today, everybody who has a camera, I'd kind of like the guys to be on camera with your partners. I want you to be able to read body language, look at the way people react when you're negotiating. I understand that some of you are probably calling in and don't have a camera, which is fine. But if you do and you're dressed appropriately, then please come on to camera so we can do some real negotiating. Let's see. Is Mia coming?
Yeah, I believe so. I think what happened was in the middle of coming on here, her laptop had decided to upgrade itself.
Make co-host. Okay. Okay, so you two are co-hosts now. And we got 62 people out of what, 78, 75? Okay. So how you guys doing in your classes so far this quarter? We got third week, so everybody should work out a little bit of the kinks out of the Zoom and the online teaching. Or are you guys still having a lot of problems? No, we're good. It's a learning process. So so far our security's been pretty good in the meetings. We haven't had any issues. So I'm not going to change anything. If we do have some issues, then I'll start adding passwords and all kinds of other security protocols. But as of right now, I think all I do is send you a link, you come in and everything's fine, right? So you guys are good with that? So if we have any issues, then I'll have to start tightening up the security protocols. But since we haven't had any issues, I don't see any reason to do that. All right. So shall we get started? How many people do we have? At 63 people. Let's give them a few more moments to trickle in because we actually are going to break out into our rooms and do some negotiating. So interesting stories, any interesting classroom things that you guys encountered? You guys want to share?
I got one.
What do you got, Aaron?
I'm in another class earlier today. I think Red saw some of it. My wife's out of the house right now for some important business. And so I have all my kids. So they were like climbing all over me and trying to scream at the camera. It was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it's funny. I was looking at a meme. It had the kid taped to the floor underneath the camera, underneath the desk. That was kind of funny. So,
I thought about it. I really did.
yeah. Any other things going on?
It was kind of interesting. I don't know if Aaron remembers this from the class earlier, but it's a dance class, but we're learning about the different bones. And for her to explain part of the like pelvis bone, it was kind of like she was like throwing it back. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, time out. I'll just she was like, it was just awkward for a second.
Yeah.
What was she throwing back?
She had to like try to explain the sitting bones, I guess, on the pelvis. And so like she turned her back to the camera and was like, "Oh, it's right here." I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, time out. I didn't sign up for all this."
Wow, that's interesting.
Uh, all right. So how many people we have? 64. All right. All right. So let's get started. So welcome to, what is this? 144 negotiations. So today we're going to talk about Zephyr. The readings are now posted. You guys will be able to access them. But what we're going to do is go into our breakout rooms, and you're going to decide, like we did last week, who's going to do what role. And then you will download that role and read it. And I want to give you guys about 20 minutes to do your reading and get prepared for that. So you can do that when we break up. That's really the first thing you do. And then I want you to negotiate for another, 40 minutes. Okay. And then we'll come back down here and then we'll discuss it a little bit. I'll go over a few things and we will do that. So let me share a little bit with you about what this negotiation's a little bit different than what we've done before. So the very first negotiation we did, which we had Mia and Brittany do a demonstration of, was a distributive bargaining type of negotiation, which is basically a give and take. One person wins, one person loses. And then we have an integrated bargaining, which we did in the second one, which I gave you guys 2 tries at. So the second time you guys came in there with your eyes a little bit more wide open as to what the possibilities were in that negotiation. So this one is going to be a combination of both of those. So you're going to need to define your BATNA, define your bottom line, your reservation point, define your aspiration level, what your target's going to be. Okay, so you need to prepare your objectives and your rationales for this, also for this one. So everybody's been reading the book and is all done with the book by now. So you're going to have to analyze your own interest and the other's interest. So you're going to need to communicate to make sure that you can find out what is going on with the other person and why. And if the other person wants to negotiate the way that they, you can negotiate hard, soft, however, it's up to you. Like I said, it's all up to you how you want to negotiate, but it's going to be affecting you later down the road. Okay. Okay, so directions for Zephyr: go to your rooms, decide who will be the VP and who will be Frederick. Go to iLearn, download the worksheet, roles for each part. Worksheets at the same as the worksheet's the same for everybody. I adjusted the worksheet and I'll go over that in a few moments. Roles are in course materials in week 3 folder. Spend 15 to 20 minutes reading and preparing your negotiation. Negotiate for 40 to 45 minutes. We will then return to the Zoom meeting and we will take a poll and recap. Okay, So if you guys are available with your cameras, part of your negotiation is reading body language and visual signs. I'd really like you guys to be able to see each other if that's possible. So this is a win-win negotiation, but fight hard, fight hard for what you want. Negotiation prep sheet and final answer sheet we will go over, and I'll have you guys turn this in on iLearn tomorrow. Okay. All right, so the sheet is basically the first page is the same. On the bottom of the first page, I added a few things. Bargaining zone, interest positions. Okay, so this is exactly the same as what you did before. This is a little bit different. We can put in here, so Zephyr, what they want, the owner, what they want, can they agree on it? Yes or no? Can they agree on a price and any additional issues? Okay, so this is just another worksheet for you to use. Okay, you will answer all of these questions, and this is going to be part of your assignment to turn in. So was there a deal? Were you guys able to make a deal? Why or why not? What were the complications that led to some of the problems you had to making the deal, or complications of not being able to make the deal? Okay, was your negotiation hard, soft, helpful, and reasonable? How did they act? How did you counteract with them? Okay, did you make the pie bigger? We talked about this last couple of weeks. So if you make the pie bigger, there's more for everyone. Okay, so and think outside of the box. Okay, questions about that before we split up and go into our rooms? Anyone? Anyone? No, we're good. Okay, so we got 64 people in the room. 4 of us will not be negotiating. We have the Mia, myself, Brittany, and then the KW will not be negotiating. All right, so let's do this. We'll go into breakout rooms. Okay, so I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. And then we are going to, you're going to go download the roles. You're going to decide which role you're going to play, either the buyer or the seller. And you are going to go read the sheets and then prepare your worksheet on that, and also download the worksheet and prepare that, and then negotiate. Okay, and then we will be dropping into your rooms, checking out everybody. And then I'm going to have to adjust these, and we'll go from there. All right. Lewis, I'm going to put you in a different room, but I'll put you with somebody else.
The room that I was in, she needs a partner.
Okay, which room?
Room 22.
Well, hold on, send her to room
But
12.
you could send her to room 12.
I was going to send somebody here. Let me send this one to room 12.
There we go.
Okay, and then who else do we have open?
Oh, breakout room 3 has 3 people.
Yeah, I'm going to move somebody. Well, one hasn't joined yet.
Oh, really? Okay. Do I go back to breakout room 3 then?
Yes, go back.
Okay.
I will adjust the rooms.
Hi, Mallory.
Oh, right. Mia?
Yes,
Okay, perfect.
we are working on getting you a partner right now.
Okay.
Oops, I almost left the meeting.
You still need me to wait for.
I know, I'm having difficulties. Okay, so Mallory and me, why are we all in the same room here? Okay, Mallory, what room do you need to be in?
I don't know. It didn't. It went out to the break room, but then it was just me.
Okay, I have one unassigned room. Here we go. Let me see what room Lewis is in. Okay, breakout 22 is, okay. Mallory, go back to 22 and I'll put Lewis with you.
Would you mind making me a co-host again?
I already did.
It's not showing up on my end.
Okay, you are a co-host again.
Yay, thank you. I'm gonna jump into some of the rooms.
Okay, I need to put Lewis in a room. So are we uneven?
Let me triple check. I don't
Okay, here we go. I got somebody move to. What room is it?
You know what? Maybe you can assign me to a breakout room and that'll give me the option to switch between breakout rooms.
I have an even amount here. I'm going to
Oh,
26.
Do you have a thing for participants? Professor, I don't have a person to negotiate with. I think you're muted.
Why is it every time I go into another room, they mutes me? Okay, Gabriel and Anita. Anita, you're not showing up. Okay, here we go.
I was on another chat with David, but I don't know what happened with my computer and I had to leave. So I don't know if you want me to go back to that one or
Which room was it?
I don't know. I just know it had David Chong, I believe.
All right, hold on. Okay, Anita, you're not joined. Okay, hold on. Let me. Okay, Brittany, you're unassigned again.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with Zoom right now. It may be because Facebook and everyone's trying to buy it.
Yeah. How do I add? Can I add more rooms?
Yeah, you can add another breakout room and then perhaps put me, Anita, and Gabriella in it, and then I could go and check out the other rooms from there.
Okay. I
Thank you.
have. Let's see here. All right, how do I open up another breakout room? It's not letting me open up.
I can't see it on my end, but you should be able to add it. Do you want to try making me the host? And then I can take a look.
Yeah, hold on a sec. Let me try something real quick. All right, here. I will make you the host and put those two in a room.
Everyone else in there. Oh, everyone has two except for breakout room 26. So let's put Gabriel at the 26. It'll be 2 on 2. I need another room. Anita. All right, let's see. There's another one. Hi, Anita. Do you want to join the breakout room that we set you up with?
Yeah, sure. Wait, I don't see a thing. I don't see the pop-up.
All right, let's try it again.
Were you able to create a breakout room?
I wasn't able to create a breakout room, but I'm able to put her in a different one.
Okay. That's what happens when people come late, then we get a disproportionate amount of numbers. I don't think it's, maybe I should do an extra breakout room when I do the first initial screen.
Yeah, that might work. Anita, are you able to join?
Should I just, I don't have that pop-up again, but I see an option to say to press join breakout room. Do I just press that?
That's perfect.
Okay. Is that, oh, okay, sorry.
It's all right, no worries.
Thought you would never leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
We,
Okay.
okay. Well, we do that. I'm going to check attendance because this is the only way we can do it. Let me see this.
This is so hard doing this like this online. Doing this in the classroom is so much easier.
Yeah.
Well, at least make me a co-host
I'm going to make you the host.
so I can go check and see what they're doing. They shouldn't be doing anything yet.
I think they're reading.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Oh, I should have maybe.
Here, I will. Are you a co-host still?
I am
You are.
not.
Okay, you should all be co-host.
Okay, I am. But can you assign me to a breakout room and Mia?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Can you not go in and out of breakout rooms?
I can once I'm assigned, but
Ah, I cut her off. Mia, where do you want to go?
Anywhere. Let me see. Oh, I could join this one. Let me see if I could join 22.
Okay. Gabriel or Gabriella? What you doing back here?
So on the breakout room that you put me in, they said that they already kind of had their role, so they wanted to know if I was gonna join theirs or
Yes, you're gonna need to. So either pick one role and help out, and you guys can do a three-way.
okay. Okie dokie. Would you be able to put me back into that breakout room?
Which one was it?
26?
26 doesn't show up.
Hmm.
Here, wait. I'm gonna put you in room 27 with somebody else.
Okay.
Gabriella, go back to the room you were in. It was room 26.
Yeah.
Okay, go back to that room.
How do I do that? So the one that it's telling me to go to is 27.
And then just go to 26. I'm gonna move Anita to 26 too. Wait,
Okay.
why is there? Anita, what room were you in originally?
Do I have to join or are you gonna put me in the room?
Hold on a second. I'm checking the rooms again.
Okay.
Go back to 27.
Okay.
Professor?
Yes.
Okay, so we're just, me and my partner are still trying to learn how to do the worksheet for the first page. So just like kind of double checking for like the issue 1, that's kind of like why exactly I'm the car owner or the
Own the
car
car.
service owner. So
Mhm.
then I would, for the issues, it would just be why exactly I'm selling it.
Yeah, you should be able to read that while you're selling it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So,
what are you doing?
22.
Okay, I'll come
Yeah,
in.
me and my partner were just trying to double check and everything.
You can raise your hand and ask questions from there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then I
Oh, see. Yeah, sorry. I'm still trying to
Hi, Professor. Hello? He's not in here. I need to go back to that room.
Hi, Professor.
Hello, Miss Mia.
I had a question. So one of the students, he bought the houses for $850.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't really have, much for the other stuff, like the cars. So he was wondering, is there a space where he's supposed to put like individual prices or no?
Yeah, you can. That's what that third worksheet was for.
Okay. Let's see. Let me see what room they're in so I could hop in it.
Okay.
I think it's the room with Mallory Marcus, and I forgot her partner's name.
Mallory Marcus.
See if we could find that on the breakout rooms.
Yeah, I'm looking. All right, there you are. Okay, I will go back.
Okay, thank you.
You're So what's David doing in here?
Hello.
Yeah, hi, David.
So we just kind of finished up ours. I feel like at first we were kind of initially confused. Here, I'll turn on my video too. We were like initially, like we didn't know where to start, I feel like. And so we kind of like just kind of got through the negotiation. And then afterwards, we just discussed like what we could have done differently. And like the different angles we could have played. So like he disclosed like the confidential information on his side and I did on mine.
Okay. Were you the buyer?
So I was the seller. I was Frederick.
Okay, and Simon, you were the buyer.
Yes, I was.
Simon had specific information when he went to Palo Alto. He could only spend how much?
We could only was it 1.15?
Yeah, it was 1.15.
And you could only the least you could take was what, 1.2 something?
1.25, yeah.
Yeah.
Or 1.265.
Yeah, exactly.
Bargaining zone, correct? So there's a negative zone. He couldn't give you more than what you needed, and so you had a negative bargaining zone. So how did you work your negotiation around that negative bargaining zone? What did you do to make the pie bigger so everybody would be happy?
So what we discussed was the possibility of like having, like I would become a shareholder. So I would have like some sort of stock option if that was like possible for the company. And then another way we discussed was, is that I would sell the business, but I would continue to kind of work as an employee or like an outside contractor for the company. So I could kind of earn that money that I needed on top of that.
Well, that's not going to give you $100,000 or whatever it was that you needed, the difference in the bargaining zone.
But I feel like if it were to come to like, at most, if I were to sell it at 1.15, like a year or two of work for like the company and with like my knowledge and like being able to sell like 2 sets of rosters, like with, I could sell the like basic clientele list and then what was the word? High profile like list separately, that it could get there.
Didn't Simon
like
had a couple of houses that he let you have?
Oh, Dad, he brought that up too. So like that was after we did the what's the word? After we like performed the negotiation. Yeah, sorry. That was one of the things like we discussed on top of it was like the possibility of him giving me a house.
Yeah,
So you didn't put it in the negotiation? You didn't write it down and put it in the negotiation?
I think so I was kind of confused when we initially started. So I feel like the negotiation just was kind of like rocky. And I feel like we like did more like post discussing of the negotiation than like the negotiation itself.
Okay, well, part of the exercise is to talk to each other.
Yeah.
That is part of the exercise, to find out what Simon has to offer and what you have to offer. So if you are, if Simon's the buyer, basically his instructions were to go to Palo Alto, buy your company for 1.1 at the most, and that's it. That's all the instructions he had. He had a lot of leeway to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but you had a lot of things on your list that you needed to satisfy.
Yeah.
So, but there's no way you were going to be able to get the money that you needed. So we're going to have to renegotiate for a lot of those things. Like, for example, the house. If you could have got one of his houses at 800,000, you would have saved yourself $200,000.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't really think about like having a lowered price on that. But also, like, I didn't initially think of like the possibility of buying the house.
Well, you had to buy a house. It was part of the story.
But from Zephyr.
Well, you didn't have to buy it, but he had houses. See, you didn't. The problem is you didn't talk to him to find out what else was going on.
Mm.
All right, Leonardo, how'd you guys do?
Well, we didn't come to an agreement, to be honest.
You didn't.
No. So my first offer was, I think, 0.7 million, and he rejected. And then he started to say that he won 1.5 millions. But I say, no, I can't give you 1.5 million. So he negotiated to 1.27. And then I asked, I can either give you 1.1 million or I can give you a house that is worth 950,000 and then put 50,000. And then in the future, we'll be able to sell the house, that the market of the house is going to go up. But he doesn't want to spend, he wanted me to spend more than 1.26 million. So like, for me, it was just a losing situation. So I didn't want to accept.
Okay. All right, so let's get everybody back.
Hello.
Poll.
Hello.
Okay, so I want everybody to do the poll and see how many people we did that can make a deal, that didn't make a deal. Look at all these faces. We got a bunch of faces. I like that. I like seeing everybody. All right. A few more seconds on the poll. I think everybody's already back. Yep, we got everybody back in the room. Okay, so there are quite a few actually that weren't able to make a deal.
It's really unfortunate.
50. Yeah, 10 more people. Come on. 10 more people to answer the poll. And we got 63 in the room. We need 59. There's 4 of us that don't vote. All right. Has everybody answered? No, not everybody's answered, but I'm going to end the poll anyway. All right. All right. So we shared the results. So we had 36. So 63% were able to make a deal. And then 21 of you were not able to make a deal. All right. I'm going to have Samantha and who are you with, Samantha?
Anita.
Anita. I'm going to have Samantha and Anita explain what they did. This is a successful one. And then I will have Leonardo explain what they did. They were an unsuccessful one. So go ahead, Samantha and Anita. Explain to me what you guys are doing.
Okay, so we started with the negotiation of just, and our prices were pretty different. Asked about why she was selling, and the reason why she was leaving was because she had to move to Chicago with her family. So we actually offered her a job at one of our Chicago branches, and with 2-year employee loyalty plan, so she wouldn't get fired for 2 years for sure, and that we were gonna give her health insurance that will also cover her mom's surgery.
Yeah, so I saw that as like beneficial for the company owner, and I was able to negotiate and sell the company for $1,050,000, including the client list and the fleet of cars, as long as she gave me what she mentioned of the 2 years loyalty and the health insurance that would cover my mom's surgery. Oh, and we also negotiated, I don't know if Anita mentioned it, that she would sell Zephyr would sell one of their properties in Chicago for $890,000, which was a good amount compared to what I was going to pay.
Yeah, so he saved $120,000 from buying a house from the other person because they wanted what, $900,000 plus $100,000 to fix the roof and do the other things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's $120,000 in the pocket, not to mention a lot of other things that they did. So the health insurance, all that. So you guys had a negative bargaining zone, and you were able to work around that to both of you to get to the point to where you made a good deal. Everybody was happy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other one who had a negative or who weren't able to make a deal, Leonardo, where are you at?
Yeah, yeah. So like, so I was the VP, and I start like a first offer of I think it was 0.7 million, and he told me that like the offer was very low, and he was planning to not give less than 1.5 million. So after that, I said that building from scratch a new firm, it wouldn't be like, I mean, I would just lose money, you know. So I renegotiate to 1 million, and he still did refuse it. And his counter offer was 1.27 million. So since we weren't able to find like a deal in terms of money, and I heard that like he needs help with his mother, I decided to talk about selling a house. So I mentioned him that my new offer was to sell him a house for 950,000 plus putting 50,000. So he would get 1 million. And since the market house is always rises, he will be able like to stay in the house and eventually sell the house for more than what he bought it for. So I think it was a pretty good offer, but he didn't accept it. So my last offer, my final offer was 1.1 million, and he rejected the offer. So for me, it was not anymore a winning situation, and I decided it was better for me to not find a deal.
Who was your partner, the seller?
It was David Gonzalez.
David Gonzalez.
Yes.
Talk to me. So what's going on? What happened?
Well, from what I've heard earlier, we were just practically going off our sheet, and we didn't even think about outside of the box options. I didn't want to go anything lower than 1.265 million. And so I practically forgot about other chances that I could have put into helping me out.
But you didn't think about the houses. You guys didn't communicate. He offered you houses. Why didn't you?
Yeah, he offered me the house, but I just needed something more. And
the house,
like I said, I didn't think about it. Oh.
That's like that would have put you over the that would put you over your threshold. You could have got a job from him. You could have got healthcare insurance.
Yeah, see, we didn't think about that at all. So that's a fail on my part.
All right. So did anybody negotiate, like play hardball? They just didn't give an inch.
I mean, I feel like I've been like very open, like to give also other alternatives, but like as I mentioned, like I wasn't be able to like spend more than 1.15. So like he keep like telling me that the price was higher, and like if he didn't accept the compromise of the house, like for me there was not really much to do. So he didn't like really change his position. So like I didn't even want to lose, out of it. So I think I've been like pretty collaborative, but there was not really much I can do at that point.
Okay. Jo and Jamie, let's hear about your experience. Why didn't you guys reach an agreement?
I don't think. Oh,
go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Nah, you go. You go.
So I'm getting ready for work. I'm running around trying to find my uniform.
Oh no.
Oh, all right. I'll go then.
I mean, I had the same problem as David. I wasn't really thinking outside the box like that. I was thinking of how to value, my cars, my business all monetarily. And we did come to a conclusion for a job as a mechanic for $55,000 a year, but that didn't really help too much. I should have added on after hearing the other people. I should have added on the health insurance and stuff like that. I was just having trouble thinking on how to get cash money for her, my mother's expenses, rather than get the insurance that would be all encompassing. So I think that's where I failed on my part.
So you kind of had tunnel vision, and all you could see was the dollars.
Yeah.
Okay. And Jo, what happened?
So I started trying to get rid of the houses because the worksheet said that you rather sell it than rent it. So I started trying to sell him the house, but it wasn't worth it, I guess. And then he told me about his mom, and I was just trying to help him with cash, but there was no deal at that point.
Okay. I think somebody said they were giving him 2 houses or selling him 2 houses. What group did that?
That was our group. me and my partner, we
That's almost $2 million.
right. But we were gonna renegotiate because we're gonna renegotiate to doing the 1.15 initially, and now because I'm the seller, I need a place to live. I wanted also a lease contract where I didn't have to pay any money for X amount of time. That way, the company would be able to maintain their equity in the homes without really without giving me any more than they can afford. So we were gonna go 1.15 just with just a leasing agreement. Another thing that we could have done was maybe because the house that I wanted was worth 900K currently. Now she bought the company bought the house for 750K, which is 150K in increase in revenue. We could have subtracted that from the 1.15.
Yeah. Well,
sure.
There's actually, he probably could have gotten even more than 1.5 million for the business if he would have negotiated correctly. Correct? You guys, can you see them getting more than 1.5 million out of it? Not cash, but with other things such as the houses,
right?
Maybe getting a job, getting health insurance that would cover his mom's surgery. So he could have actually saved $500,000 by doing all that stuff, because that house that he was going to buy is 900,000 plus 100,000 more just for repairs. So that's $1 million.
Would it be possible to be able to purchase that house for 750, because that's how much the company originally got it for, and then do like a refinance, get all your money back once?
That's entirely up to the negotiation, but it's open. I mean, you could even do less than 750,000, making the case that, hey, you're going to be sitting on this house for a year. It's not going to sell. You're not going to rent it. You're going to lose money. The economy is going to go in the drain. They're going to get the COVID-19 and nobody's going to come into your house. You can negotiate all kinds of different scenarios to try and get the house at a lower price, but it states that the house they owned it outright. So they got their money out of it, so they could have let it go for whatever price he wanted.
Okay. Thanks for clearing that up.
No problem. Yes, fill out both sides of the worksheet. Or well, fill out your side of the worksheet and then what you guys negotiated, and then so fill out as much information as you can.
So, like, Professor, on my worksheet, I filled out what I could fill out, and then the bottom of it. But on page 2, where it says other, do we fill that out as well, or is that just kind of
other information? Yeah, go ahead and fill out as much information as you can. Make sure whoever you negotiate against, their name is on it. So.
Oh.
Okay, so on the worksheet, let me do this. So what you're talking about is, so all of these issues, like the negotiation preparation worksheet, this is everything that you guys should have done before your negotiation, right? Okay, so what do you want? What does the other person want? So after the negotiation, you should have some kind of idea of what they wanted. So you should be able to fill that out. Okay. Now, for example, for Zephyr, they have 5 houses. Okay, the owner wants 1. They agree to sell on it, yes. Price 750. Okay, any additional issues? It does not need repairs. Remember, they said it was all in good condition. Okay, so this is what this worksheet was for, and I was hoping you guys were going to catch on to that. I didn't want to explain it because I couldn't really explain everything on this worksheet because it would have given away a lot of the positions that everybody had.
Professor, so if you scroll back up to that 3rd page, what my teammate, partner in negotiation, and I did was, I thought you meant that, like, okay, negotiating price and then additional issues were what like that value added. So like
Oh yeah.
1.15, and then inside here we're saying that, but we didn't do like the 5 houses or 1 house. We just put like a check next to whoever like said this.
Yeah. Well, and these you can use for each issue. So like the mother's sick, you both can agree on helping her, whether it's a price, whether it's a health insurance or, a stipend of some type. Additional issues.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a set way. It can be kind of flexible with it.
Yeah, you can be very, very flexible with it. Your partner doesn't remember you, Brianna. How can your partner not remember you? You're unforgettable.
Oh.
I wanted to add something on that blue chart thing.
Sure.
The way I did it was I just put up who proposed what as part of the deal and
Yep.
whether or not they accepted it, and then just did a list of the different counteroffers.
Too. Like I said, I couldn't really fill that out for you guys because that would have given away a lot of people's positions. But hopefully I explained it enough to where you can use it as an additional sheet to do the negotiations each individual. And it's very similar to the sheet above it. So it's not like it's something completely out, new and you guys didn't know what to do with it.
So in our negotiation for that third or for the blue sheet, if we only can if we can only fill up 2 or 3 boxes, should we come up with hypotheticals to fill up the rest of them, like what we could have done?
Yeah, absolutely. Put down what you did do at the bottom of the sheet, at the bottom of the list. It'll say how the negotiation go, what was the final outcome. Put that down, but put hypothetically what you could do. Absolutely.
Okay.
So we're not going to do a 2.0 version of this like we did on the last one. I just wanted you to, the last one, I wanted you to think outside of the box because I think a lot of you just stopped short of, coming up with alternative ideas. So this is kind of the exercise to really get you to think outside of the box to see, because there's a lot of different ways you can go, and you have to make up that negative bargaining zone. Otherwise, you don't have a deal, which a lot of people didn't have a deal because they didn't think outside of the box, or they only thought of one issue, and that was money.
So I have a question. Me and my partner, we didn't necessarily have multiple offers. My partner pretty much accepted my first offer. So for the blue side, do I just put what my offer was and that it was agreed?
Never accept the first offer. Never.
I didn't accept the first offer.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Just put down what you did. But also put down what you think you could have done.
But I did have a question about it. So after, like, while negotiating, I guess my partner said that there was like 740,000 in loans on the vehicles.
Mhm.
So was that cost incurred? Like, is that my cost now that I purchased the company?
Your cost, yes.
Okay.
So that one will kind of negate itself out when you do the purchase, because when you buy the company, it'll offset itself.
Well, I didn't necessarily purchase the company. I just gave my partner one house and $200,000.
Yeah.
I had a quick question too. So when you bring in personal affairs into a negotiation, how much is like too much? Because there's only so much I care about their mom, I guess.
As you're buying the company.
Yeah.
These personal issues are actually motivation for him to move, to sell his company and move. So they are very big issues for him, and he should share them with you. Those kind of things, and hopefully you're not so cold-hearted and don't care enough that you're just gonna say, yeah, I don't give a shit, But obviously, his alternative was 850,000, I think, or something like that, and then he could sell off the cars one by one. It probably wouldn't have been the most ideal thing for him, but he could have, gotten to the point where he wanted to get to about 1.5 million. Who's asking me about the first page of the worksheet? We already went over this.
I had a question about that, Professor, also.
About
Yeah, so when we're doing our part and then the other side's part, seeing as to we're doing this pre-negotiation, are we going through both sheets, like from the buyer and the seller's perspective and filling it in, or?
different sheets that are very similar. Okay, negotiation preparation worksheet we use for the first negotiation and the second negotiation, and the BATNA and the reservation price are the very first thing that we talked about in week 1.
Mhm.
Okay, so the issues are mom is sick. Okay, so to the seller, that means a lot. To the buyer, that really doesn't mean too much. Okay, so what are your interests on these and your position on this? Okay, so you go through in each of the issues. You know, obviously your BATNA was 1.2. What was it? 1.265 million. So that is what the lowest that you can actually go and still get everything that you need to get. The reservation price was 1.5 million. Okay, so you fill these sheets out according to what the story is behind the motivation and everything. Okay, this is just the second sheet is to help you to ask more questions about what's going on, what do you want, what do you want to find out about. Like, for example, you should talk about why you're selling the company. And they would tell him, you would tell him, oh, I'm selling the company because my mom's sick. She lives in Chicago. I was going to move back there, take care of her, and spend time. And they go, okay, yeah, I understand that. Well, you know, our corporate headquarters is in Chicago. You know, maybe we can help you out when you get over in Chicago too. You know, so those are the type of things that you need to talk about.
Oh, so that information wasn't shared in the negotiation regarding the mom being sick and where the housing was?
It all depends on what side you were on, if whether it was shared or not. And that
Oh, yeah, I was on Zephyr's side, so I asked why he was selling, but it was mostly it mostly said that he wanted to spend more time with family, so I was completely unaware of the mom thing.
okay, well, that's his, you know, that's his prerogative in negotiating.
Okay.
For me, I would say, you know, my mom's really sick. I need this money. I mean, you know, what can you do? I just play on your heartstrings and see if I can get as much money as I can out of you. You know, but apparently he didn't want to do it that way.
Oh, okay. So as far as filling in that in from my buyer's perspective about the mom, since we didn't know, I don't have to put that on there.
Well, you don't have to put the mom thing, but you put down what he told you. So he said,
Gotcha.
I have relatives in Chicago or whatever he said.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, Professor.
No problem.
I have a question about that first page as well.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get the difference between position and interests, just so I don't get it confused, because I got confused.
Okay, so your position is the seller or the buyer, or whatever side you are on in the negotiations. You're the city or the labor union, like we did in the last one. So that's your position. Okay, so what is your position? What do you want out of your position? What are you negotiating for the buyer? He wants, basically he just wants the location for 1.1 million, right?
Yeah, it was pretty. The buyer was pretty self-explanatory. Like that one, it was easy.
The CEO said, "Hey, go out there. If you can pick it up for 1.1 million, great. If not, move on. Go. We'll build one." Okay, so that's the only incentive he had. Now the seller had a lot more issues.
Right. Well, on the thing, it's split into two different categories on self. You have the position and interest. So like I wanted to buy his car service. I wanted to buy it at 1.15. That's my position. But what would be the interest?
And your are getting all the cars together, getting the clientele list, getting the property. That's what you want to do. You want to get all those things together. You don't want him to sell pieces off.
Okay, I'm just making it more difficult than it needed to be. Thanks. Got it.
That's all right. So I think our time is up. If you guys want to stick around and talk around, I'll be available. You guys enjoy this one? A little bit better? Yeah?
Professor, can I ask you a question?
No. Yes, go ahead.
On when you were showing your version of the document on page 1, you had some additional stuff on the bottom. I'm currently looking at the Zephyr negotiation sheet, and all I have is band and one other thing.
And when I spoke to you earlier, I said you need to add the last two. Bargaining zone, it's a negative. I couldn't fill these in for you because you would not know what's going on. Interest and position. Whoops. Okay, so these are the type of things, you know, you need to add, subtract to the negotiation as you go along. Okay, so these are two of the things that we learned, and I'm going to speak more about this next class, is the bargaining zone and interest and position. I'm actually going to go over more of that stuff in detail.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions?
Professor, on the first page, you said the mom is sick, so I was a buyer, and like we're supposed to do this before, like we negotiated. So do I still put that, or because I wouldn't have known that?
Well, if you didn't know it in the negotiations, don't put it.
So is this we do this after we negotiate, like for the first page?
Yeah, you fill it out after you negotiate the last sheet.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Questions? I'll be around for a few moments. Still got quite a few people. Kaylee, did you have fun?
Yes, I did.
Okay. This is a pretty good one because you got a lot of different things, a lot of different ways you can go. So
This was very interesting, very different than our first one, for sure.
yeah, the first one was just a straight distributive, you know, given you win, I lose. I win, you lose. So
Right. I like that this one didn't have a point value system like the first one did. So we can, like, it's like a real negotiation.
yeah. Well, the point that, you know, they actually do use that a lot in especially governments when they negotiate and a lot of these other large corporations, because you have a lot of different issues and you can keep score. So
Do you recommend we should do something similar in terms of our own interests and issues, and we should place a value on that?
we'll see that that's another thing too, is they were trying to place a value on what's more important. You don't have to necessarily give it a point system, but if you value something a lot more than you do other things, definitely, you know, let yourself know that that's what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
Hey, Professor. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, David.
Yeah. Can we go back to our breakout rooms to finish up some of the negotiation?
Yeah, if you want, I can send you back.
Okay.
You guys want to go back?
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right. I don't know how that's going to work. You should go back to the same room. Katie, you came in late.
It's because I left because I had another class, so I just used my iPad to sign in.
Okay. So did you get anything out of it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Brittany, did you have anything for me?
No, and I was just going to answer Tim's question right now, but I guess he's in his breakout room.
Okay. What was Tim's question?
He wants to know, he didn't catch what you had said for the first worksheet on the bottom and how they're supposed to add that up. Well, let me figure out what.
Jennifer?
Pardon me?
You mean go to Tim and Jennifer?
Yes, he had a question.
Okay.
All right.
Here, hold on. Oh, wait. Hit the wrong button. Well, they got 47 seconds.
There you can see it. Wait.
No, you didn't go, Brittany.
Pardon me?
You didn't go to their room.
Here, let me. I didn't see that. I got 30 seconds. You want to try that again?
Well, I have to wait for it to go out. It won't let me do anything.
Okay. Well, he's gonna come back anyways. This might be a question that everyone else has. So.
There you go. All right. I think classes last longer now that we're on Zoom.
Mine. Actually, you're basically the only teacher that does live lectures for me.
Really?
Yeah, I have one other. He splits it up because you can't have more than X amount in a Zoom. So
Yeah.
he has like 80 students, and so he has like A through whatever go on the first day, and then on Tuesday, and then whatever through Z to go on Thursday. And it's just basically one lecture, and that's your opportunity to be live. But for the most part, it's not required. It's like lectures basically that are recorded.
We can have up to 300 students.
Wow.
With negotiations, it's a lot better to do it live.
Oh yeah, well yeah, and that class is like Python, and the other class is math basically. So you definitely cannot do
negotiation
without a live. I mean, preferably in person, obviously, but you're making do with what you got.
I do my 109 class live too.
That's really awesome.
So
I prefer it. I was just speaking with my counselor on this. Because what happens is when it's pre-recorded lectures, some people like me personally, when I'm in class, I ask a million questions. You already know this.
yeah.
And it's at that point that the energy is there to where when the teacher responds, I can immediately retain the information, and have some energy back behind it. Now I have to wait for, the professor's hours, and it's just not the same in my experience.
Yeah. Well, I like it because, one, I got it recorded.